was 16 years old, my grandmother told me, Oprah's going to know your name. You're going to be on television. I'm going to be watching you. You're going to be speaking all over the world. I grew up with a mother who was extremely abusive and made me feel very less than. So imagine looking up at 40 years old and seeing my face up there and thinking about my beautiful grandmother, Precious Dolores Williams, and loving the face up there who beat the odds. If you don't really make it about them and make it just seem like I'm selling, I tune you out too. I probably walk out because I'm in my 40s now, so I can bounce. This ain't
Yeah,
for me. You're not for me.
excuse me, I'll be right back.
Yeah, and knowing you're not coming back.
Today's episode is brought to you by Andy Bovender, the founder of the Bovender team out of the Carolinas. Him and his team have helped more than 5,000 families in 5 different counties. So if you have that client who's been thinking about making a move to or from the Carolinas, they are the team to call. Today's conversation is with Precious Williams. If you've ever been in a pitch, sitting with a buyer in a consultation or a seller, doing your presentation, and you are just not hitting the mark, then this episode is for you. Precious talks about her strategies for hitting and delivering that perfect pitch. The proof is in the track record. She was actually on Shark Tank season 8, and she shares a little bit about that story. As a part 2, there's the Inner Circle group. This is an exclusive group comprised primarily of past guests of the episodes. We meet 2 times a week, we talk shop and share some referrals. If you are interested in learning more about that, scroll down and find the link in the description below. And as always, I'm your referral partner out of San Francisco, Shawn Conkler.
So being a voracious reader led me to understanding language and how to put words together. And when I was 16 years old, my grandmother told me, Oprah's going to know your name. You're going to be on television. I'm going to be watching you. You're going to be speaking all over the world, which is very interesting to tell an inner city young person, especially when we're told, hey, you grew up here, you'll die here. So wanted to write that great American novel and step out of the inner city and be respected on a global scale. So, yeah. And so do I think I've written a great American novel? No, but I'm a 5-time #1 bestselling author of books on pitching and sales.
Amazing.
Not bad. And
Not
like
too shabby.
I've been in movies, documentaries, film. I've hosted television shows. Oh, yeah. So she wasn't lying, but without being a voracious reader and reading all these great books that put me in different worlds. Yeah. Imagine, I've been in New York 25 years. Imagine that.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And congrats on not only writing a book, but multiple books and having them be bestsellers. Like that's a feat. And I think most people don't really genuinely appreciate how hard it is to write a book unless they've written it. It's painful.
It is painful. And let me tell you, I thought my first one, I was like, oh, I was given 2.5 months to write it, not a year, not anything.
Oh, geez.
Because of the title. And my friend is a publisher, but she used to work at CNN. And so she liked the title of the book. And she's like, 2.5 months, Bad Bitches and Power Pitches for women entrepreneurs and speakers only.
I love your use of the English language.
I mean, why not?
It punches.
It's funny. I was on a podcast and the man said to me, "You read a lot." I said, "What gave you? What told you how you use language?"
Yeah.
And I said, "What?" And then I was in a Lyft going over to Newark, and a Lyft driver said the same thing. And I'm thinking, 2 people back to back. Now I've been on this earth 46, now 47 years. But 2 people back to back, so here we are at a third. But yes, and I like to bring in hip hop references, country references, different musical genres into what it is that I do. Yeah. Because I pay attention, and I think words do matter a lot more than people think that they do. So yes.
I agree. I mean, it's the words matter than of course, your tonality, how
Oh, yes.
you're packaging it and putting it all together. And again, I've had the opportunity of seeing you speak prior to this, and you're just so electric, I think is the word. And the words are, yeah, I mean, I can see the hip hop. There's like a rhythmic, like there's almost like a tempo when you get fired up and you get going.
Oh, most
There's
definitely. And that's why even when I was on Shark Tank, you could just see the look on their faces, like the sharks, like, wow, like this one is a real one, and she's ready.
and that was correct me if I'm wrong. That was season 8, correct?
Season 8 in 2016. Yes.
So people can go, and I'm sure you can find it on YouTube's or somewhere else. Um, yeah, it's really, again, it's really fun when, and sometimes it's not even articulate. You can't articulate it, but when somebody's just a really great speaker, you're just hooked, and you don't necessarily know why. You're just, it's like a good movie. You're just in it.
Well, just like great agents, great speakers, great coaches, great consultants, you're going to know the difference immediately between those who think it's all written in books versus
Mm,
those who incorporate their personality into it, and you can just immediately feel a difference.
yeah.
Now, there are amazing speakers. There are amazing people who bring the gift of gab, but to be able to teach, to train, and to bring your full self to something, it's
Mm,
beautiful. I mean, I'm a former attorney, which means I do not practice today. And I have more fun because the clients that I have and who I work with, it's amazing. And I wouldn't have had that opportunity if I was still an attorney. I would be in the
mm,
courtroom, I'm a litigator. So when you ask that question about who did I want to be, I think that I was thinking too small because I thought that would be the end all and be all be write the great American novel when my grandmother was like, think big. Oprah's gonna know your name. You're gonna be on television. And it literally happened, just not in the way the plan. It didn't happen according to
yeah.
plan. It happened according to his timing. And
Mm,
being in my
mhm,
40s, I
mhm.
can accept it better now. Like I don't have all of that nervous 20 and 30 year. Oh, I gotta do no. I know what I'm doing and I'm confident in myself. And I also know that I can walk away if it doesn't make sense.
Oh, that is such a great feeling.
Hmm. To walk away and to not have this, I'm in my 40s. How many things did I say yes to that I shouldn't have said yes to? How many things did I get involved with that I should never have been involved with?
Yeah. Yeah, your filter changes definitely. As you get older, yeah, there's like, I am so quick now to just be like, no, this is not for me.
Oh,
It's
you
not
said
my
I'm
deal.
out of it's out of alignment. I'm like, do you remember Randy Jackson? It's a no for me, dog. On the record, he was like, it's a no for me, dog.
Yeah,
And being
sometimes,
quite honest about it, like, it's a no.
yeah,
And this is not a back and forth. It's a no. This
yeah,
benefits you. It does not benefit me. If it's not a win-win, I'm confused. But I'll let you sit in the silence. I'm gone.
yeah. And that's, to parlay that to a pitch, if that pitch it doesn't resonate, it doesn't hit that right frequency, like, and you're talking to that decision maker,
Mm-hmm.
you have seconds to grab them. And to your point, it's like that. What's in it for me?
Yeah.
Does this resonate with my soul? Like, is this something that is actually aligning with what I want or need? If not, I'm done. I'm out. Like, you can just stop the pitch. I'm gonna walk. I'd be willing to bet the hardest part of your day isn't the work. It's the mental load. It's the decision fatigue. It's the shuffling of priorities while you're already playing catch up. You're checking off things from your to do list just as fast as they're getting added. And I'd also be willing to bet some of those meaningful business relationships you've had in the past have begun to fade. Ace Your Day is a physical deck of 52 strategic cards designed to halt fatigue. Refined by real world results, this system replaces chaos of a to do list with a curated set of high impact actions. It's simple. Set a timer for 15 minutes, draw a card, and make your move. The deck handles the thinking, you drive the business. Building a secure business should not be a guessing game. Let's stop overthinking the day and trust a system that prioritizes connections and relationships. Let the deck handle the strategy, you focus on the results. Click the link in the description to reclaim your day, 15 minutes at a time.
It is so true. I used to teach middle school girls empowerment with Grand Wind up here in New York.
So
And
I think that's 3 careers you brought up so far.
listen, that was a summer program. And I'm telling these, I've been told they're incorrigible, they're angry, they're this, and no air conditioning in the
Oh,
summer.
jeez.
Now, I knew that if you don't grab their attention in the first 10 seconds, part of pitching, you'll never have it. And so I had in my mind, even though I wasn't taught to be a teacher or anything like that, that how do I grab them? How do I arrange my room in such a way that it's circular? How do I get them to interact with each other if they've never interacted all year long? And how do I establish I am Miss Precious? When Miss Precious speaks, everything is quiet. And do the same for each and every one of them to let them know. So first day comes and you know I'm nervous, but you can't tell. Mark of a master, professional. And I'm going in. And these girls just stop and do exactly what I say. And they're like, you know how hot it is. And I was 327 pounds. Let's be clear. I was 327, not anymore. And they follow the plan. And we could go into computer lab and sometimes they had air conditioning, sometimes they couldn't. But gotta give them a little something to break up the day.
Yeah.
And then weeks later, the Columbia Teachers College came because I don't know how it got out that I was, I had these young ladies bringing the best of themselves out and empowering them as girls. And they came in and were like, you could just tell they were like, and they do what Miss Precious says. I said, yes, but it's good for them too. Because I don't talk. I'm not trying to talk when they're talking. If they're relating something to me or our group, it's a circle. We're here for each other. Whatever. So if you think about pitching the same way, what's in it for them? What's in it for you too? Are you making yourself the only choice that truly matters? I need to grab your attention, and it can't be, hi, Shawn. I'm Precious Williams. I'm the proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group. And I work and I train and teach companies how to package, position, and pitch. So they have extremely successful track record and results. Our website is www.perfectpitchgroup.com. You're welcome to check it out. Again, my name is Precious Williams. I'm the proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group. Thank you.
Oh, my ADD is like through the roof.
Wait. So you when did you tune me out? Because I know you did. You're just like, I see her. I am not here.
I was struggling.
Honestly. Listen, that wasn't even 30 seconds. That's what's crazy. It wasn't even 30 seconds, but that's what happens when you're at networking events. That's what happens around a lot of when you're not sure of who you are and you're trying to develop, and it's like, they don't care about me or what I'm selling or anything until they know I give them a reason to.
Yeah.
So you have people who are selling homes and selling or getting people into rentals and all of that. And that's a very big decision, even in this climate. And so if you don't really make it about them and make it just seem like I'm selling, I tune you out too. I probably walk out because I'm in my 40s now. So, I can bounce. This ain't you're not
excuse me. I'll be right back.
Yeah. And knowing you're not coming back. They acting like they're trying to come at me like she's trying to sell us a timeshare. I didn't even say that. So anyway, yeah.
It's true.
That's why my big energy and big noise, but even if you're an ambivert, even if you're an introvert, you can use things that work to your advantage. And so I'm not teaching people who are like me. I'm extroverted, but some people can get tired of extroverts. Could be like, you're just talking all day long. Introverts, you don't talk enough. I want people to be the quiet storm. When you talk, people listen because you don't say a lot. And when you say it, it's got to matter. You understand what I'm saying? So pitching is a lot more than people give it credit for. And also, I want to grab your attention because if I can't get you in the first 10 seconds, I automatically know that I've got to do double duty to bring you back. And that's the
Yeah.
mark of a master, not just, okay, if the first 10 seconds aren't working, how do I dial it back? How can I read the room? How can I kind of get in your head and be like, bring them back, bring them back. Because there's
Yeah.
something else on their mind.
And it's fascinating. I mean, and I guess I haven't really thought about this prior to, but it's this whole thing that's happening. And I mean, it was like when you gave me that horrible pitch, it was like the tonality was off, your energy was off,
Hmm.
the words just kind of, it was like monotone. Everything just kind
It's
of,
like, wah, 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 wah.
yeah, yeah, exactly. And that's like,
That's how kids are hearing at school still to,
it's like me when I hear directions.
yes.
My brain just goes, "Oh, wait, there's a big like tree over there,"
Yeah,
and then
yes.
I go somewhere else super fast.
Right.
It's really challenging. And so I know you have that program, the pitch review, where you actually sit down and people have to have their 30-second pitch all ready to go. Which, if you're an agent, you have your buyer's presentation, which is a
Right.
whole bunch of series of mini pitches, and you have your sellers.
Yep.
Um, Tell me more about this program. I'm super curious about it.
So Pitch Review 2 was created because some people never get to meet me in person. And they often think that pitching is so hard, or what they've been told about pitching is the end all and be all of the Google School of pitching.
Mm,
And one of the things I want to make it clear is there's 6 different forms of pitching. Are you using the right
interesting.
one for your audience? You have your elevator pitch for networking. You have
Uh-huh.
your media pitch. What is something so special about what you're bringing to the table that's new, fresh, and different, fresh viewpoint that the media could immediately snatch on, right? So I'm a full figure diva and a plus size fashionista. Let me show you how I took the business world by storm in one big. You've seen me on Shark Tank. You've seen me in movies and that. And I was 327. So, they were shocked. Like, there's a 327-pound woman who's not a singer, dancer, actress who took the business world by storm by looking like that. Oh, okay, we already like it. Then you have your investor pitch. How do you get people to
Mm,
invest in your idea or your business, your brand, your book, your product or service?
yeah.
Elevator media investor sales. There are people who are selling services or products or a combination of both. You only have a finite time to get people attracted, baiting, attracting, and closing with ease. You have your speaker pitch. There are a lot of people who want speakers to speak, but for free. That ain't me, just so we're clear. So, what do you need to put in your speaker pitch that you are the only choice that matters for that zone of genius? And then you
Mm,
get paid handsomely because you are not the Kia. You're the Lexus or the Rolls Royce, meaning you're already premium or you're rare. The market will tell you what it sees you as right now. We're going to get you the Lexus or Rolls Royce. Queen. And then finally, your interview pitch, which is what I do at Ivy League institutions, PWIs, and HBCUs. You're interviewing from the time you fill out that application. So what needs to be on that application or
it's
what needs to
true.
be on that grant thing. And then when you meet them in person, how do you
Mm,
shift to where you have the power in that interview? Because you're
mm,
seeding throughout the entire process. So what I request is before, when people sign up is have a 30 to 60-second pitch. Now I know there are pitches that are a lot longer, but we're going to keep it to 30 to 60 seconds because as I said, if you don't give them the first 10 seconds, I want to make sure that that 60 seconds is powerful. That 30 seconds is so powerful. So they pitch and the audience will be there and it's virtual. But
yeah.
then they have 7 to 10 minutes with me breaking down their pitch step by step and rebuilding it before their very eyes to show them how to make it more impactful, more attractive, and leads closer to the sale.
Yeah.
And so, since we have between 8 to 10 contestants, it's amazing what changes. And then when they get the audience reaction, and then
Mm,
people walked out with customers that in that. You know what I mean? So I'm creating a whole ecosystem to show it can be done. So if you don't meet
yeah.
me in person, please believe that virtually I'm gonna give you that work. And so that having that 30 to 60-second pitch is incredible. Having an audience that is with you and it's private. Everybody and their mama is not there. Everyone who is
Yeah.
there has invested himself to be there. Even the audience members because they're learning to. And so that's what Pitch Review 3 is as the killer pitchmaster alive. And yes, I'm called the killer pitchmaster because I teach you how to slay all competition with a what killer pitch and show you how to make it rain and what slay the game. As a 13-time national elevator pitch champion, you heard me,
Love it.
you see me. And that's why some of the biggest companies, like from Verizon to Blackstone to Thinkific to like the Google, Microsoft, yes, I'm black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift, no six pack abs. And I told you I was in movies and documentaries. I told you I'm a host, an MC, an auctioneer. Imagine if I allowed the world to tell me who I was. I'd still be in St. Louis with multiple baby daddies, still living that life. But because being a voracious reader, as we were talking about, it allowed me to see the world very differently and the possibilities, even in a land of AI, even in a land of technology. People still like real people. And every conference that I'm at,
Yeah.
these aren't conferences where two people show up. There's 15,000, there's 17,000, there's 3,000. People still want to meet in real life because this is cute, but I don't know if you're real. And if I can look you in the eye, I have a better way of gauging who you are. So show up and show out. Pitch Review 3 as the Killer Pitchmaster Live. April 11th.
I love it. Yeah, and
It's
I feel
virtual.
like
Y'all know y'all gotta lay home. Virtual. 1 to 3 p.m. EST.
and simultaneously the link we'll put in the description below. So if somebody wants to check it out,
Yes,
I
of
would
course.
definitely recommend it. And I appreciate what you shared about like there's 6 different pitches, and it's very and that hit like it really genuinely makes sense because if I'm having a conversation with you right now, it's a very different dynamic than if I'm talking to 3 siblings who are then selling their parents' home. Like it's a completely different environment that I
Is
have
this your
to.
first time really hearing there's 6 different? You might have seen hear me say that in any of my things, but there's a reason why I say that. Because there are people who focus on the investor pitch. There are people
Mhm.
who focus on the elevator pitch. But being a master of all 6, it also shows people that you're not a dime a dozen. You have
Yeah.
a track record. That's how you can get the biggest companies. That's how you can get small businesses. That's how you can work one on one with executives. Because I know something that most people do not. And there
Yeah.
is a track record. And so I will say there are a lot of people that are flash in the pan, but if they can't even tell you there's a difference between them, clock that T. Clock it. And that's
Yeah.
one of my unfair advantages.
I
And
love
all of
having
you
unfair
have it. All of you
advantages.
have an unfair advantage. You just don't know what it is yet.
Yeah. It's funny. I love having unfair advantages and I love looking for them. And
Yes.
I also simultaneously, and I stole this from Bruce Lee when I was a kid, but take your weakness and make that your attribute and make
Mm.
that your unfair advantage. Like, why is that thing you actually think is holding you back like your secret? And
Yes.
just run with that thing.
I love that you said that because, in the climate that we're in, I've had people try to box me in and say, "Oh, well, you're here because of these 3 letters." And I'm like, do you actually read my track record? Did you actually read it? I'm
Yeah.
booked year round, not a Black History Month or Women's History Month. Year round.
Year round. Yeah.
Which means I've been a speaker for 31 years before any of these so-called terms came to. So please do not box me in. Don't let this chocolate skin fool you. Please don't. Please,
Yeah.
please know that even though I don't have an Ivy League degree, I've taught at Ivy League institutions. Why? Because I'm the best in the world when it comes to pitching. Not the best
That's
black,
huge.
not the best woman, the best in the world. Period. Clock it.
It's true. I mean, you got to own that shit. And
You gotta
especially
own it.
like
And when they
31
try to put
years.
you there, I bring the elephant into the
Yeah.
room and people you nervously laugh, and then it allows me to go on because I'm like, I'm gonna address this because some of y'all may have that, or some of y'all may know some people. Yes, black on both sides, no Brazilian butt lift and no six pack abs. These are my clients from from BMW all the way down to Harvard University, Entrepreneurs Organization. Oh yeah, clock the T. And again, this is year round. And they're just like, and nervously laughing. And I said, now that we got that out of the way, who's ready to get this work? Say pitch, please. Hashtag pitch, please. Please say it with a P, not a B. because I don't want them to dog walk me out of it. And it's that fun.
Enunciate
Now they're
slow.
like, "Ooh, she went there, and then she left it, and said, 'Let's go get this work.'" I want y'all to enjoy. I want y'all to learn, but most importantly, this is gonna be memorable because I want to change your life, the way you do business, and how you put yourself out there. Because some of y'all been doing it a little too boring for me, and I want
Yeah.
y'all to be memorable. I want you to stand out. Clock it.
That's interesting. That's fascinating. Now that I'm thinking about your pitch, your other pitches that I've seen in your style, you do have this flair of just calling out the thing that people are probably already thinking, but then doing it in a way that's like almost bigger and,
Hmm.
and more punchy, where
Yes.
then it's now memorable and you're like, wow, that's, oh, all right, I get it. Like, all right, we're on the same page. And then it moves forward immediately from there.
It's always important for me, as I told you, I just turned 47. But in my 40s, I realized that speaking truth to power in a way that's still comedic and
Yeah.
addresses something so we can move on. Because sometimes people with this limited framework of who you are can't get past it, so they can't listen. So I like to
Yeah.
bring it to the table, dead it, and let's move on. And don't allow yourself to get caught up in what the news and all these things are telling you. We have
Yeah.
talented
Yeah.
people in all races, creeds, cultures. And trust me when I say, if I've already beaten the best in the world at pitching, that's not the
Mhm.
best who look like me. That's the best, period. No matter what school you went to, what family you came from,
Yeah.
we've beaten them. And so you can too. But we got to get rid of that idea that it should only come in one package.
I agree. I mean, I don't think there is one package. I mean, there's so many. I'm there's a multitude ways to a top of a mountain, and there's no wrong way to do it. Like you can take a helicopter, you can hike it, you can climb it. There's no wrong way. You just have to decide what works for you. Um, a friend of mine, Lance Pendleton, he's a real estate coach, but his pitch, his opening sentence when somebody says, "Oh, what do you do?" which is like usually followed by something pretty dry. He says, "I'm the guy you call when you don't want to hire a real estate agent." And immediately it's like
Clock
it's
that T.
it like zigs and zags, similar to what you do. It's like it's kind of like a joke. Like when you think it's going in one direction, they go in a completely different direction. That's what makes it funny. And like you do have that. There's like a funny spirit to it, but you take it. It's very fascinating, but you take it in a like a different direction, which makes me the listener. All right, what's she going to say next? Like where are we going with this?
I agree with you. When I'm at networking events, like you know how you're networking before I even get on stage, I actually don't want people to know I'm the speaker, if that's possible. Because sometimes I switch outfits and stuff like that, right? Switch up her. Oh, yeah, I go ham and cheese.
Yeah, the different glasses, and you're
I
kind of
do
like,
because I have multiple glasses. Let's be clear, different accessories. What I love is I'll just butt into conversations. I'm like, oh, this where the cool kids is. Can I come through? Can we? What we talking about? What are we talking about? And it's a different way of entering a conversation that isn't, what do you do? What I do is
yeah,
unimportant. Y'all were important. I'm trying to be a part of cool kids crew. What we do? What we at? What we doing? What we eating on? Da, 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 da. And they love
yeah,
it because it brings it down. And are there people who I haven't gotten to who will immediately come over because they're seeing the laughter and joy over on this side of the room because we're just
yeah.
enjoying each other? I don't really like to ask what people do because it's unimportant to me until it needs to be important. My thing is I like to see chemistry. Can you talk about something other than what you do? Because let's be clear, people
Mm,
are still more important than what you do. Do I
yeah,
feel safe? Do I feel like we can chop it up? Because a lot of people want to go for happy hour to eat some wings together or just to walk around the area. Are you someone I'd rather do that with, or am I, or is it like pulling teeth where I'm gonna say, I have a meeting in the ladies' room, and I really gonna be like, I'm going back to my room because I'm not dealing with none of y'all, right? For butting in and being
I
like, oh, have y'all tasted this crab cake? Oh, whatever, and they're just kind of like. No, that's it. I said, y'all need to go ahead and get at that. But what y'all talking about? What we getting into tonight? Oh, did y'all hear about the speakers? Any of the speakers y'all want to hear? Do you see how very different that is?
Yeah,
So it's a disarming energy. But also, so there's a shock
it's
when I
true.
get on that stage. But I wanted friends in the audience. I want people who are like, oh, she played us. I
Yeah,
like that. I likes that, how she did that.
yeah.
She's personable and not, people always say always be selling, always be closing. Yeah, you can do that in multiple ways. But I hope you like me. I hope you feeling me. And for those who don't feel me, hopefully when I get off that stage, even if you're still not feeling me, you'll never forgive me. Promise.
It's a good way to put it. So, flipping it a little bit for the introverts who are listening to this,
Mm-hmm.
who just their soul died a little bit when you were like, I just kind of appear in these conversations. How would you coach them to 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 break into that? Because not for nothing, networking is a huge component of what we do,
Oh, very
even for the
much.
introverts, and you need to do it in a way that aligns with who you are. And so, what suggestions or recommendations do you have for that type of individual?
So for introverts, I'd start with a game plan before I even enter the room, right? So for them, I would, if it's possible to know who some of the people in their room are, look them up before you do that. And you're not gonna be the only introvert in the room. I would also look for people who are by themselves first to want to speak with, because that gives you that lead up. And when you're getting ready to enter the conversation, I would talk more about, oh, what brings you to this event, da da da, something like that. Or
Mm.
people always say the weather, and I'm like, yeah, it's kind
Oh,
of cold out here. Something that's kind of light, but also is like, man, the crap pick is kind of fire. Oh, what brings you here? And then they'll start talking and make them the most important, like the Bill Clinton school of networking. So when you meet
yeah,
someone and you look at them in the eye and not looking all around at other people, make them the focal point. And people love that. And
yeah,
sometimes introverts may be the people with the most money in the room. They're just there and hoping people walk up to them because they're like, please don't make me walk up to other people. So there's a lot of dynamics happening, but I would look for the
mm,
people who are by themselves first. And then as we're together, maybe we'll go together to find other people who are by themselves. And
mm,
then you start adding to it. And then you can make a rule. We're not going to talk about what we do until we laugh together first, until we figure out something that really works. Or I'm an introvert. Are you an introvert? Yes. So, how you enter these conversations is so crucial.
yeah,
But if you make it about what you do and you're still not confident in how you talk about yourself, focus on them.
yeah,
And then you can still be self deprecating, like, I see all these people together. I came to you. I'm coming to you because I'm an introvert. Are you? Join the club. And it's just one of those things like, let's go over and get some food. And then maybe we'll pull some other introverts together. And then we'll be over here doing our thing. And they over there doing their thing. And they want to know what we doing over here. Clock the T. And then eventually we'll
yeah,
come up, what do you do? But it'll be a totally different, it's a totally different approach
yeah.
where you're not focused on your lack or you're not running your mouth the entire time, but making
Mm.
someone else the focal point, which will in turn make you the focal point, which will in turn have a much more pleasant conversation.
This is a master class, and I genuinely hope somebody goes back and listens to this, because the first scenario, you were the extrovert talking about the extrovert, and then you totally context switch and became the introvert talking about the introverts, and it was brilliant. And I hope somebody goes back, or I hope they caught that within the words that you were using.
Would it help you to know that I've been all of them at one point in my life? I've been the introvert, the extrovert. I'm more of an ambivert now. When I
Mm,
speak or when I'm, heavily speaking,
yeah.
after my party's over and I'm, talking to people, I go back to my room for an hour or two and close all blinds and everything, just be in darkness because I need to recharge my battery.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a sign of me getting older, but also understanding that I give a lot of energy and I don't dial what I do in. And then I'll come back because I've refreshed
Yeah.
and I need to feel like precious and not on stage. So people can meet me in different things and still be like, but that's her in real life.
Yeah.
Who I see on stage, that's her, but also is she cool behind the scenes? If I'm feeling scared, or if I'm feeling like, no, they're all gonna laugh at you, like from Carrie, the movie. Been there, done that. I've fallen on my face brutally nationally. I have had big failures in real life.
Mm.
And so the truth is, I bounced back, but it was always because my higher power said my second chapter will be better than my first, which means that the
Mm.
first chapter was really about me gunning it and getting it popping. And now it's about making sure others are getting it popping and being a
Yeah.
part of the journey and making sure you don't have to be me because let's be clear, some people did not like me then. Some people still don't like me. Some people still think I'm loud. Some people are like, you need to learn from him how to speak. I've been doing this for 31 years. If I want to sound like him, I would. I don't. I don't. And there are
Mm.
many ways to skin a cat, even for your real estate agents and producers and brokers. There are many ways to skin a cat and recognize that
Yeah.
some people have a skill set and a talent you haven't seen before. It does not mean they're wrong. It
Mm.
might mean that you can still incorporate some of what you have in it, but also understand they may bring a different audience you've never even paid it. We think about it as just like money, and it's like, no, 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 no. There's some people you can only reach a certain way, and they may have the key to getting them.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean.
Hey, friends, I have a small favor to ask. For me to continue to bring you outstanding guests who share their best kept secrets for growing a successful real estate business, please take a moment and hit that like button so agents like you can find this content. And also hit that subscribe button now so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Now, back to our show. That's an interesting point.
As
Yeah,
an
I
attorney, I
mean,
wore navy, black, and blue, right?
what was that?
As an attorney, I wore navy, black, and blue.
Uh,
I mean, navy
so
blue and black because you're working for
authority.
these big law firms. So there is a dress code and all of that. It's got,
Yeah.
expensive thread, all of that and whatever. As a speaker and as a trainer, my brand is about being bold in the
Mm,
ways that matter to you. And I love color. So you
mm,
don't catch me in black and navy blue because that's a different chapter of my life.
right.
It has not stopped me from being hired, book referred, invested in. And I want to share that with the world because there's some things about us, but I'll be quiet.
No, I mean you're here to talk and I'm here to listen. So I appreciate you just running with it. It's curious and it's interesting when you were an attorney. It sounds like the black and blue, like if you just think of authority, police wear blue, judges wear black. It makes sense. Like you're coming at an authority from an authority position. Um, Yeah, and now if you're dynamic and you're a speaker, having some sort of pop of color. Cielo, my partner, she does a lot of stage talks, and
Yep.
she always tries to have one crazy piece. Like she did a talk in Ireland and had these really crazy bright orange, like hunting orange Adidas sneakers that she wore, and that was like she always has that like, what is that? So I think that's smart too.
I think that's
I th-
part of packaging. So when we think
yeah,
about rainmaking, when we think about like Secret of the Killer Pitchmaster, it is packaging too. So
yeah, yeah,
our branding changed from hot pink and everything. We're red. So I'm not always wearing red or some version of red, but the boldness will show up if I'm wearing bright yellow. Like you'll see that, or if I'm wearing like blush pink, it's something that stands out in my shoe game and my eyeshadow game. Because I don't know if y'all remember Tammy Faye Baker. Her eye makeup was like caked on it, and as a little girl, I loved it. I'm not gonna hold you. I felt like she had the Liberace on her eyes. Now I'm not to her level, so I'm Tammy Faye Baker, light, 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 but
yeah.
people love my eyeshadow. And I said, I want you to focus on something So maybe I'm going ham and cheese in the eyeshadow and the
Yeah.
outfit is fly. And then I may have just some pretty pumps. Or maybe my pumps are so bad that the dress I'll have on or the jumpsuit that I'll have on will be slightly muted, but the eye game gonna be so on point. You're gonna be so
Yeah.
fascinated, like, who is she? And you're gonna pay attention.
Ye
Nothing looks listen, I ain't cheap, but it's not like, but it's also, I need you to know I'm the speaker and the
yes.
trainer. I'm not the audience member. So it has to be very clear. So that's packaging. And what
It's a good point.
your friend does, listen, it's something that makes people pay attention. She understands the game of packaging.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, we recently started watching the show The Bear, and there's a line when they're going for a star for the restaurant, and he said everything is everything, and it's pitching is the same thing. It's everything is everything. How you look, how you stand, what your hands are doing, the tone, the tonality, with the words. It's like everything is everything. They're picking up consciously and subconsciously, is this person conveying congruently the thing they're saying simultaneously with this whole being, which you massively do. I mean, which you should. I mean, after 3 decades of experience, you should. 3 decades of doing it, it's dialed. It should be beyond dialed, and which it is. Um,
And I love what I do. I
that's
really
huge.
love it. I love it more now. I mean, at 16, what do you think I knew what I was doing? 20,
Nah,
25, 30. Late 30s, it really would click to me. Like, you know
yeah,
what? I didn't realize that there are all these things happening around me that is probably time to share some of the things that I've observed over time.
yeah.
My first book came out when I was 40. I was retired and through, man. I was just getting started. Did I ever think that Forbes magazine would reach out to me to review my book? Did I think they were
Wild.
my first billboard in Times Square? No.
Oh, geez.
And my dream, I couldn't leave New York until I had a billboard in Times Square. I got it at 40, almost turning 41. I've had three, two reviewed by Forbes. My first Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, and a third book, Pitching for Profit: The Bad Bitches Playbook to Convert Conversations into what currency? You know what I mean? Because it's not always cash, but currency. Trust me, that's the referrals. That's all these other things. And so,
Yeah.
imagine looking up and knowing that that's me. And I grew up with a mother who was extremely abusive and made me feel
Mm.
very less than. So imagine looking up at 40 years old and seeing my face up there and thinking about my beautiful grandmother, Precious Dolores Williams, and loving the face up there who beat
Mm.
the odds, and praying that people know that I didn't pay for these billboards. I didn't pay for the Forbes review. Something I was doing
Mm.
attracted media. There's a young lady right now who did Dr. Pepper, like a song for Dr. Pepper, and people will laugh like it'll never get to them. She just signed the contract and it's in a commercial. You just never know.
You never
That
know.
dream you have, it may not come the way you think it is. It even be even better. And
Yeah.
so when I called my mom yesterday and I was cracking up about my birthday, and she was just laughing and she was like, "Baby," and I was like, "Yes, your 47-year-old daughter is a baddie." And we're just laughing and kikiing, and she said something about wanting to apologize, and I said, "We did to that. You have 4 daughters that are successful. I think you try to look at me like I'm the most successful because I live in New York and travel all over the world." I said, "But we're all successful. We ain't never
Yeah.
had you come to jail. We ain't never done any of that crazy stuff." I said, "But the most important thing is I've made mistakes in life, and I'm human, and you did too.
Hmm.
I'm still here,
That's a powerful.
and I'm
I'm
the
still
old
here.
girl out of so let's get this true tea, mommy." So yeah.
That's
And
amazing.
some of us get to live the lives our parents wish they could. It just wasn't the option back then.
Very different time.
Yeah,
I mean, we're in a very different time.
we
And
are.
it's interesting too. And I'm sure you felt like this. At 37, you could not have imagined how far you would actually come to 47, and then what that'll look like by 57. I I'm excited for you. Like it's so much more is in store. It's just it's inevitable.
By
Like
my
you can't
mother's,
bring. Oh, God.
I was gonna say, by my mother's hands, I should have been gone at 12. By my own hands, I should have been done at 38 years old. I can
Yeah,
tell you with every fiber of my being how blessed I feel when I wake up.
I love
And
that.
I don't feel old, tired, and through. I feel like I'm just getting started. I love our young people.
Yeah,
Yes, here's the true tea. No matter how great they are in whatever fields and they make millions of dollars from a social media post, life is gonna life. Trust me.
yeah, it
You're
is.
getting older. You don't see it coming until you're there. You're like, and all the things you said about, oh, she was just mad because she old and I'm young. Ha! That's gonna happen to you.
Yeah,
You're going to realize that, at least for me, life ain't even over. And I
no,
don't wish to be younger because I live without social media. I live without a lot of these things. And as they became more incorporated in my life, I have a perspective that if you and I weren't doing this, we could just talk on the phone, have a real conversation, and I don't have to use a certain thing to teach me how to talk to you. We just go
mm,
back and forth like it's nothing.
yeah,
And there's a skill set and a
yeah,
talent. And so our young people are gonna make mistakes. It's you. I'm gonna make mistakes. And at the end of the day, I'm lucky that pitching came to me when no one believed that a
mm,
black woman with a non Ivy League law degree could outpitch everyone else without training, without all those sort of things, and raise $750,000 for a company that people thought would never exist. And
that's
parlay
wild.
that into a pitching company. And
Yeah,
then, just be on Shark Tank, just serving like it's nothing, leaving them in awe. And then going into my media appearances, knowing uh, how to speak in sound bites, and then
mm,
also how to go into other countries and teach and understand cultural competencies and still be invested in learning my craft. And so I say the same for your audience that is watching. Sometimes something bad will happen to redirect you to where you really should be, or the things you've been afraid to be putting out there about yourself that makes you human and yet still exclusive. Still exclusive, but you are human and you had to
yeah,
bounce back like most people will. Have to
yeah,
confront that.
yeah. I mean, it's for me. My big reframe, and I really had to focus on this, is there are no failures. There's only outcomes, and that's like really hard to internalize,
You
especially
ain't
when you
lying.
just
Come on, you ain't
when
lying.
when you fall flat on your face and you're like, man, I hope nobody saw that. But you learn something. You're like, all right, first thing I learned is won't do that
I
again.
won't do that again.
And then you go and you get a new distinction and it parlays into something else and you just move forward. But
Rihanna has a tattoo, never a mistake, always a lesson. And it was written backwards so that when she's standing face to face with the mirror, it's written the right way.
mm, clever.
And when she first did it, I didn't really understand it, but I get it. It's a lot of things. Like, let's say some of my programs back in the day didn't work. Do you know they work today? The only thing that matters is just a matter of years and being more persistent and consistent.
Hmm,
Imagine
hmm.
if you had a party and no one showed up and you never did it again versus, well, what did I learn and how can I make it better? And
Yeah.
I feel like that's business too. I really feel like that. Like, if you stopped at that one
Yeah.
and never did, an autopsy, you may find out that some brilliant ideas you had 5 years ago, the time has caught up now.
Yeah.
Unleash it. When Bad Bitches and Power Pitches, I was told for 3 years it was a horrible title for a book. When we released it and it was number one, did I ever see Forbes? No. I was told it was too crass, and I watched others write all of these books with particular words in the title, and they're bestsellers. But because I had to follow respectability politics, and it had to be perfect pitch. That's so whack. It is a
It's
perfect
so
pitch.
boring. I
But
mean,
it
it
was
doesn't.
like putting it out there and just being like, we just gonna test the waters. And it worked
Yeah.
because what God had been telling me was different from what the world was trying to put me in that box. So yeah.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
four came in rapid succession. But book writing is not easy. I promise you it's not easy.
It's
And you
brutal.
don't write it for the awards, but when the awards do come, it's beautiful, but it's like, wow. But yeah, when people said no, not investing, no, it's silly, it's dumb, they don't say that today.
Well, and to kind of go back to your point about something, it's just not the right time. I always, in my mind, I always liken it to um, a garden, right? You can plant and do all the right things at the wrong time. If you plant your crop in the winter, you're going to have failure. It's just not gonna produce fruit. You have to do it. And so sometimes like the activity's not wrong. You just need to do it again until you find that right season. And
Right.
and that's like it's not a failure, it's an outcome. I got an outcome I didn't want. Let me try it again. And let me take inventory. Let me make an adjustment and then try it again. And then and I think and this is the spirit of I think the through line of everything you've shared is believe in yourself. Just believe in yourself and then do these other things. But if you don't believe in yourself and you're not believing in this and you don't feel congruent even with you, that's the failure. Like that's going to blow up.
It 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 is. And it's I think when we say believe in you, people are like, oh, that's so easy. I mean, it's so much harder. It's like, yeah, because the word is telling you you're not good enough, and to buy this makeup product, buy this skincare, buy all of this. When the
On
truth of
social
the matter
media,
is,
just
or they're telling you the data says this, and AI says this. Here's the
yeah,
one factor that people forget in business. Sometimes you're hearing about companies after three failed products. Did
yeah,
they give up? No, they had to pivot and all of this because sometimes data can't tell you everything. Because how does it predict what's coming next? I remember watching an AT&T commercial from back in the day when you could see people you were talking to. Now, has that come to fruition? Now, yes, but
yeah,
it wasn't available back then. So it was pushing you. This is coming, and now it's been gone into other things. With AI and data, maybe it would have told you that other cultures and like become more inclusive in all these things, but I don't think it would show you who's going to be the one that kicks down the door. I don't think it,
correct.
it
It's
if
not
you're only
predictive.
thinking of one particular model that can break down the door, like tech is the only way to make it. Well, you have speakers out here who are making it, and you might not know their name because they're in certain industries and don't want you to know what they
Yeah,
bringing in. Clock that tea. And then there are these other things I noticed in business. So if business was this formula, the way people make it seem, I would expect many more people to be successful, but there are other things that are going to challenge that. Is it the
yeah,
right time? Is a regulatory framework? Is a regulatory thing going to come through that wipes out your whole business? Inflation, whatever. There are so many things that have happened that people have been in business for so long. That's why Macy's, I think they've been over a year, 100 years old, but most companies cannot survive 100 years. You might be
Saks
lucky if you
just
survive
filed.
10
Was it Saks?
or Saks or any of those, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But when they had those businesses booming, maybe into the 80s and the 90s, who saw the internet coming?
yeah.
And could you recognize it? So that's the thing about business. Some things are just introduced and it's just like game changer. But
I
they
mean,
it did come back. Yeah.
one of the earliest millionaires in the U.S. sold beaver pelts for hats. It's an industry that's gone. Like it's shit changes. It just that's the nature of the beast.
And so when they
And
talk about the future proofing, I'm like, there's some things that Probably can't, won't survive, and that's the nature. And why we dogpiling people when it's a when he went from being the highest to the business not being around. I'm like, I love the fact that they tried, they rolled that all the way out, and when it was time
Yep,
for them to go, trust me, they probably got some coin to start something else. Like, listen, we're in a different
for
business
sure.
environment, and accept it. What's a failure to you? At least they tried, because all you can do is talk about it. They lived
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
Just like your real estate agents, professionals, producers, and all of them. Some of them are gonna have these really great ideas, but real estate has. I don't think. Listen, I'm still seeing things being built. I live in New York City. You would think we ain't got no. I'm still seeing buildings being built. I'm
All the
still
time.
seeing people who still need a place to stay and all of that. And real estate, as I always said, is like, if you own something, if you may be able to hold on to that. And I'm telling you, like, it can change directions and stuff like that, but people still want to own something. Promise you that.
Always. I mean, it's one of the basic needs.
Because
It's
being
a
homeless
basic
right
human
now
need.
in this cold weather is 8 degrees. Who has time for that?
Oof.
Can you imagine being homeless at 8 degrees? I'm gonna
No.
say it again. It's 8 degrees. I lived in Santa Monica. I watched men wake up, look, men who were unhoused, wake up on the beach and just be smiling at each other. And I'm thinking, so different from New York. So different because it's warm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a different pressure when there's a different pressure.
Like warmth and sunshine will make you might be able to deal with some things. When it's cold, you like, I feel
Right?
cold. I just feel cold.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, it's kind of, it's a different, we have internal, external motivators.
Mm-hmm.
And if it's 80 degrees and sunny, you may not have that external motivator
You're
the
like, I can
same.
find food to eat. When you're
You're like, I'll
cold,
just
you're
go to the
like,
beach.
if I move from this place. And I am in no way making fun of unhoused people because I was unhoused in New
No.
York from 2007 to 2008. But what I am saying is I've never
Goodness.
forgotten watching that because I lived across
Yeah.
the street. I remember my PA driving me up the Pacific Coast Highway and crying as we went into the hills of Malibu to film and being like, I never thought that I would not even understand how to audition, but do something so out of the box. They thought I was in a monologue,
Mm.
and I said, "I'm the hottest thing in New York. No monologue. Just I'm popping. I'm doing just ridiculous." And I still got to be one of the leads of a movie. That makes no sense. I know y'all thinking that don't make no sense. You didn't know how to do a monologue. I said no one told me. They told me to audition. All right, but they loved that the spiciness and how I came. They were like, "I think she'd be great on camera." That one right there,
Yeah.
get her. And that's exactly what happened.
I love it.
Well, which was a pitch,
Man.
but I didn't know. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. And sometimes that's better. Sometimes I ain't say it all the time. I say sometimes.
No, yes. Sometimes it just works out.
Yeah.
Sometimes it doesn't.
But to believe in
Um,
yourself. Yeah.
yeah. That's the bottom line is you really have to just believe in yourself, believe in what you're doing, enjoy your work, and
Yeah.
then get the tools to do it better. This is really what it's about.
Definitely.
Precious, this was such a fun conversation. I really I appreciate it, and I appreciate your time and everything that you've shared.
Thank you so much for having me and this not feel like rote or anything. Like, I like when we go through the great questions that you've asked and I allow her to explore because there's so much more to learn. And
Yeah.
that's why I love what I do. And I can tell you love what you do too.
It's somebody asked me the other day when the lotto was like $1 billion or something, and they're like, "What would you do?" And I was like, "The podcast." It's weird, but it's even today. I woke up literally the first thing I thought of is like, "Oh my gosh, I get to sit down with you," and then I'm sitting down with Sky after this, and then I start going through. I'm like, "Oh, I'm curious what question? I only have an hour. That's not a lot of time. Like, what can I ask? What am I curious about?" And it's this lights me up on a different level, and I hope that I'm able to continue to do this for a very long time.
You're great at it, so I love it too.
I appreciate that. And that, my friend, that's a wrap.